This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Gentleman flagged me down, and there was an individual in the middle of the street, and then it kind of went from there, a domino effect of just people dropping everywhere.
Tonight, a security guard speaks out after witnessing 6 suspected overdoses in one shift. How a new drug is leading to the surge.
So heartbreaking every time we see somebody have to decline and turn away a treatment bed because they just can't find the support that they need for their animals.
You know, they are family members.
An unimaginable choice. How one society is ensuring no one has to choose between treatment and their furry friend. Plus, Adam finds out how a father and son are inspiring each other to overcome adversity and triumph on the world stage. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. A Vancouver Island security guard is speaking out about a spate of suspected overdoses she saw while on the job in downtown Victoria. It comes as the Centre for Disease Control warns the public about a change in the unregulated drug supply. CTV's Anna McMillan reports.
Right over there, we had one individual down. Over here, we had another individual.
In the span of a few blocks and a couple hours, Alicia Retta says she saw 6 suspected overdoses.
4 I had to intervene with Victoria Police and BC Ambulance.
The security guard says it happened while she was working downtown early Wednesday morning.
I had 3 males actually stop me and ask for help. One male was very scared and handing me a phone saying 911 was on the phone and that they needed help. That's when I noticed that there was a gentleman on the ground.
She says she gave him CPR while waiting for paramedics, and eventually he came to after several shots of Narcan.
Another gentleman flagged me down, and there was an individual in the middle of the street, and then it kind of went from there, a domino effect of just people dropping everywhere.
Yesterday, Victoria Police said its officers responded to 15 non-fatal overdoses in 24 hours. In several cases, Vic PD says naloxone didn't have its usual effect, likely because people's drugs were laced with medetomidine.
What it causes is a deep sedation or sleepiness.
This week, the BC Centre for Disease Control issued a rare province-wide alert about medetomidine.
It can cause them to not wake up even after naloxone is administered. They might have their breathing restored by naloxone, but still remain very sedated, very sleepy.
BC Emergency Health Services says on January 21st, paramedics responded to 256 overdoses across the province, a new single-day record which had previously been set in November.
When I see that individual that I did chest compressions on, I also see my late partner who I lost in June. Addiction doesn't see one type of person, it sees everyone.
The message from the security guard, step up and help if someone needs it, all while health organizations consider new ways to cope and reverse overdoses in a landscape where the drug supply continues to shift. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Victoria.
For many battling addiction, their pet is their sole source of comfort and family. But seeking life-saving treatment often means leaving that beloved companion behind. Tonight, CTV's Brendan Strain introduces us to Recovery Tales Society, an organization bridging the gap by providing free pet care, so no one has to choose between their pets and recovery.
Kaylee Bush and Priya Sharma are frontline workers with Island Health, helping those in the throes of addiction find treatment.
Well, we've seen this issue come up, and it's always been on an individual level.
The issue being, if a pet owner receives a spot within a treatment center, often they make the hard choice to decline the help.
It's so heartbreaking every time we see somebody have to decline and turn away a treatment bed because they just can't find the support that they need for their animals.
You know, they are family members.
In order to bridge that gap, the pair have launched the Recovery Tales Society.
Our society helps them find free pet care for the time being.
For cats like Milo and Twix, who are with the society for the next 3 months. Or Nova, who is currently staying for a 55-day placement while her owner receives treatment.
We have 15 confirmed fosters so far, all up and down the island.
Here's how the program works. The animals get assessed by the pair, then sent to stay with an appropriate foster for the length of their owner's time in treatment, free of charge. As of now, the only ask from the society is that food for the pet be provided to the foster family for the length of its stay.
Eventually, when we do have a fund built, we want to be able to provide all the food, all of the necessary things that their animal will need.
I think it's absolutely amazing. Like, what a beautiful idea to come out and provide a missing piece of recovery.
Mike Manhas is the founder of the Rewired Recovery Foundation, as well as Soberfest, which has resulted in sending more than 100 people to treatment. Mike knows addiction personally and says often those seeking treatment have already lost many of the close relationships in their lives, with their pets being the only stable relationship they have left.
When you offer someone treatment and you tell them, well, you can't take your dog, where does the animal go? It's either a shelter or you struggle to find a place to take them and hope you get the dog back afterwards. Nobody will do that.
He says this service is what is needed for pet owners seeking help with recovery.
What an amazing idea.
Recovery Tales soft launched in June, fostering 3 animals while their owners got well.
They are just so beyond grateful for the support and the time that we take in order to take care of their animals when they're away.
We're seeing the owners come back being like, you have no idea what this did for my recovery and how much stress this completely took off of me.
The pair is now looking to grow the society's reach. More foster families are needed, as well as financial donations, in order to remove a major barrier in the recovery journey of pet owners. Brendan Strain, CTV News, Esquimalt.
The City of Victoria has approved a funding increase for Canada Day celebrations, but the budget top-up still doesn't come close to what was spent last year. The city says because of fiscal restraints, the budget was around $100,000. Today, council voted to double it, bringing the total budget to around $200,000. Last year, the city spent just over $500,000. The city says the province typically declines to cost share the event with the city. This despite the fact that other provinces across the country often fund or co-fund Canada Day events in capital cities. A pitch from the mayor says these events are a local opportunity for Victorians to celebrate their identity amid troubling internal times. Vancouver Island's cruise industry is set to make waves again this year, with an increase in ships visiting both Victoria and Nanaimo. In a report to Victoria Council, the Greater Victoria Harbour Authority says 310 ships came to port last year. This year, says the authority, 331 ships are expected to tie up at Ogden Point, including 6 new vessels and 2 new cruise lines that have never visited. The authority says it's the best year on record.
2025, just under 1 million passengers visited Victoria, and that's really important to this economy. It contributed over $214 million in spending. So the passengers came down here and into the community and spent, on average, about $100 per passenger. And so that supported nearly 1,400 jobs.
Nanaimo expects to get 10 ships this year, and that is up from the 4 they got last year, and that was double the number of ships from 2014. The regional district of Nanaimo is nearing the finish line to conserve 360 hectares of parkland, but they still need your help to cross it. The RDN has secured more than $25 million in funding to purchase the Hamilton Marsh lands in the Qualicum Beach area from Mosaic Forest Management, which has lowered the price by $1 million. But the regional district still needs to secure another $3 million of the $26 million purchase price by March 31st. The area is within a 100-year-old forest and will become old growth within 150 years.
Has been something that the community has looked to preserve for going on 3 decades, I would say. It's a very unique wetland area, one of the largest left in central Vancouver Island.
The RDN says people can donate through Nanaimo Area Land Trust as well as the Mount Arrowsmith Biosphere region. The rules around dogs in Saanach's Panama Flats are changing after council weighed their options between on and off-leash rules for pups. Saanich Council has decided keeping dogs on leash in certain areas of the park is the best way to allow them to enjoy the park and offer protections for migratory birds. An enclosed area will be created in the northwest section of the park to accommodate off-leash dogs. The changes will go into effect immediately after the final reading at the next council meeting. In October, Saanich approved a renewed vision for the flats following nearly a year of community engagements. Still to come, the Prime Minister claims Canada is more united than ever.
Our country is more united, ambitious, and determined than it has been in decades.
The comments come as Alberta separatists say they met with the Trump administration. 9 degrees, a little bit of mist on the horizon. Josh will be back after the break with the full forecast.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises, customizing dream vacations with unbelievable value. Call or learn more at expediacruises.ca.
What makes West Shore Parks and Recreation a perfect place to play? It's our staff, working behind the scenes to keep the pool safe, kids engaged, and programs thriving. So apply today and join our team.
Well, Josh, Victoria escaped the deluge, not so much on the West Coast.
Thanks to Fisa, as we were mentioning, not quite as wet in Victoria as it was in other parts of the island, and that'll be the case over the next couple of days as well. Here's your rainfall warnings all along the West Coast. Comox area dealing with some rainfall warnings. Watch these rain totals, especially out on the West Coast. Look at the Tofino area. Could see over 200 millimeters and another 20 centimeters of rain potentially by the end of the day tomorrow. Again, Victoria ends up on the low end of this. I think there are parts of the Victoria area maybe get close to the 5 to 10 millimeter range, and then Port Alberni up towards Comox. Comox, I know you're under that rainfall warning. You probably won't see anywhere near as much rain as areas further to the west, but a good 20 to 40 millimeters worth. Let's give you a timeline on this. There's overnight tonight. You can see that this fire hose of rain just stays pointed at the island right through the overnight period, and it's tomorrow morning. It does break down through the afternoon hours tomorrow, so most of the rain should be done by midday. Here comes the next wave Saturday morning. That pushes into western parts of the island. Victoria, we get some showers through the morning hours, and then mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon. Gusty wind to about 70 or 80 kilometers per hour. Some rain tomorrow morning in the north, and then a chance of showers for Saturday. Some heavier rain starts to roll back in late Sunday and through the day Monday. Daytime highs in the 8 to 10 degree range, so above average. In fact, most of the island stays fairly mild to go along with the rainfall over the next little while. Morning rain tapering off by midday or early afternoon for inland areas. High of 11 tomorrow. Chance of showers on Saturday, and then some steadier rain for Sunday, Monday. Morning rain tapering off by midday out on the west coast. Could see a few scattered showers in the afternoon for some areas, but the heaviest, steadiest rain should be done by about lunchtime. Showers and a little gusty again on Saturday, but up to 14 degrees, and then some steadier rain. Possibly heavy rain once again late Sunday into Monday. Comox, rain tomorrow morning, then cloudy and windy in the afternoon, gusts to about 50 or 60 kilometers per hour. Some rain on Saturday, especially early in the day. I think it tapers off mid to late afternoon. Chance of showers and gusty for Sunday. And in Nanaimo, a little breezy, gusts to about 40 or 50 kilometers per hour. Rain in the morning, and then cloudy with a few sunny breaks and a high of 9 tomorrow afternoon. 9 degrees, cloudy, chance of some showers on Saturday, and then steadier rain Sunday, especially early in the day. And in Victoria, a little breezy tomorrow. Once again, 8 degrees in the morning, 10 in the afternoon. We'll stay under mostly cloudy skies with a few showers. Could see some showers as well on Saturday, as we showed you, most likely through the first half of the day. And then Sunday, it's not going to be steady rain, but a few scattered showers. Highs in the 10 or 11 range for the next 3 days. CTV Weather's brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations.
Thanks, Josh. As Canadians continue to face the rising cost of living, 2 polls are offering a fresh look at spending concerns and where we're hoping to cut back this year. A new poll from Nanos Research for CTV News asked Canadians where they'd like to see reduced costs and to save money in 2026. By far, groceries was the top answer. Affordability has consistently been a top concern for Canadians. Inflationary pressures have stabilized somewhat overall, but we're still seeing food prices rising faster than many other goods.
Canadians are worried about Donald Trump and trade with the U.S. Get past that. It's all about pocketbook issues. It's all about paying for the bills. And at the very top of it are groceries, followed by housing.
It appears there is a financial hangover for Canadians from 2025, and many are focused on saving for 2026. According to a new report from financial technology company Coho, a third of Canadian holiday shoppers say they went over budget. BC Premier David Eby spoke out today against Alberta's separatist movement, referring specifically to a reported meeting between members of the group and White House officials, calling their actions treason. Strong remarks from the Premier as the Prime Minister was hosting his provincial counterparts in Ottawa. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
Our country is more united, ambitious, and determined than it has been in decades.
All premiers and the Prime Minister around the table in Ottawa, but that message of unity is infringed on by a Financial Times report. The Alberta separatism movement has been meeting the Trump administration and is seeking $500 billion in credit in the event of a successful referendum.
To go to a foreign country and to ask for assistance in breaking up Canada, there's an old-fashioned word for that, and that word is treason.
It's ludicrous, right? I mean, we're there on a fact-finding basis. There's nothing treasonous about it.
The group says it did meet with U.S. officials, but is only doing a feasibility study
to determine whether that facility would be available on a going forward basis, and whether it's with U.S. Treasury or Goldman Sachs or J.P. Morgan through a bond issue.
The U.S. State Department said it regularly meets with civil society types and no commitments were made. A similar response from the White House, which tells CTV News no support or commitments were conveyed. The U.S. Secretary of the Treasury has weighed in on separatism before.
Alberta is a natural partner for the U.S.
I would expect that the U.S. administration would respect Canadian sovereignty and that they would confine their discussion about Alberta's democratic process to Albertans and to Canadians. And I will raise that with my delegate in Washington.
At the closing press conference, the Prime Minister would not answer whether he felt there was foreign interference from the United States.
We expect the U.S. administration to respect Canadian sovereignty. I'm always clear in my conversation with President Trump to that effect, and then move on to what we can do together.
While Canada faces separation speculation further east too, with the rise in popularity of Quebec's Parti Québécois.
He's going to call a referendum. If he, God forbid, he gets elected, I mark my words, within a year and a half, he'll be calling a referendum to separate from Canada. Unacceptable.
As for the substance of the meetings, a big focus was the upcoming review of the North American Free Trade Deal. The Prime Minister said he and the premiers agreed to meet monthly once that review is underway. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
The next phase of preparations for the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympic opening ceremony is underway. Thousands of performers and volunteers from 27 countries have spent months getting ready in a tent next to Milan's historic Sanrio Stadium. Rehearsals are now shifting to inside the massive soccer arena. The show will celebrate Italian history and culture, with costumes playing an essential part, a fitting choice for Milan, which is, of course, one of Europe's fashion capitals. The curtain rises February 6th. Coming up, family lifting. Adam finds out how a father and son, both weightlifters, are inspiring each other on the world stage. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Virgin Radio is Victoria's #1 hit music station. Home of Bailey and Johnny in the morning. Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to 107.3 Virgin Radio everywhere.
Finally, Adam finds out how a father and son's passion for weightlifting is inspiring them to overcome adversity and triumph on the world stage. On tonight's Encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Despite his big body, Corporal Greg Young rarely has to employ it to keep his small community safe.
I think I'm a pretty soft-spoken, gentle person, so I think that, helps me along.
Long before he strived to become an RCMP officer, Greg dreamed of being a strongman like his dad, Terry.
coming to the weight room and playing around.
Kind of grew up chasing his footsteps.
Footsteps that led Terry to win gold at the World Master Championships.
Pretty happy moment for our family when he won that.
The pictures now provide motivation for Greg to train up to 4 hours a day in his home gym.
It's consistently challenging, but pretty rewarding.
And if the most rewarding thing is beginning to realize your dream of being a powerlifter like your dad,
yeah, he was pretty good at it.
The most devastating thing is having it crushed by a broken back.
Definitely painful and frustrating.
Although a spinal fusion fixed his injury, it left Greg unable to lift like before.
You can choose to lay down and die or just move in a different direction.
So Greg started focusing on his bench press instead and realizing what he calls the gift of injury.
I think that I would have been a pretty good powerlifter, but I think I became a pretty great bench presser.
He was lifting these enormous weights I could never dream of.
When Greg realized the weight he was lifting in his home gym, up to 580 pounds, was better than what was being benched at the Worlds, he took a chance and invited his dad to try competing again too.
He originally inspired me, and I think this time around I inspired him to.
The coach is becoming the coached.
Over the past few World Championships, the father and son have motivated each other to both earn a place on the podium, winning bronze, silver, and gold medals.
You get a lot of joy to watch them and be there with them.
And Greg is finding that even better than achieving the dream of following in your dad's footsteps is overcoming adversity and walking right beside him.
It's pretty cool. It's a pretty remarkable feeling.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by Coastal Community Credit Union. Bank happy at Coastal Community Credit Union.
That's what I call a strong story. That's it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Good night.